It's the boy from Tor. Again tonight. I'm tired again tonight. Look at me. My little boy Trampsy. I don't know whether you can see him there. Lying beside me. He's over there somewhere. And I had a great time with Ray Dolan back in Ireland last week. And I wasn't sure what to think before I met him, because you think a man that's seen as much as he has and achieved as much as he'd have, it'd be maybe difficult to talk to, but he's a lovely man, honest to God. We couldn't stop talking, and we had a great time, and we're going to meet up again and do more stuff together in September. I'm really looking forward to that. But some of the stories I was telling about the bog, and they were great. They were different times altogether. 50 years ago, when there was no much television and radio was rubbish. You turn on the radio and all you get is our farmers' programs talking about cattle and sheep, and you'd be sick looking at cattle and sheep all round in a rural place like Tor. If a bit of old decent music did come on, Elvis Presley or something, sure the mother and father wouldn't have it at all. So you're better off out of the house. And the crack we used to have, I had over in the bogs. The bogs are magical places. I remember an old bog man coming along the road, and he said to me, he said, Nicky, he said, you know the exact places to go. And I said, how do you mean? Jack. I used to call him Little Paddy. Jack, the Crib Kilmurray was his name. They reckon he was always cribbing, and they called him the Crib. I said, how do you mean? He said, you're crossing that swamp bog of Bunny Hill. Everyone else is terrified of it, he says. Even grown men are terrified of that place, and everybody tells you not to go out there. He says, but you're seeing things that the Mullaher Rush fairies, the far side, and the Rahew fairies, and you have the Long Hills, which means a place where fairies dwell. They're the Tor fairies. He said, and they're all looking out for you. Do you think so, Jack? Says I. Because they are, he said. They'll mind you. He said, they minded me when I was a young lad. He said, and they're still minding me. And they tell you these stories. And I said, tell us, Jack. I said, how would I get to see these fairies? I said, I'm mad to see them. I'll tell you what you'll do now, he said. Get a ball, get your hurley and your ball, he said. And the next time you see a mist up the bog, he says, hurl your ball straight into the mist and follow it. He says, you won't lose it. He said, and you'll see the magic then. He called it, I think it was the Fifada. That's all right, Trampus, don't worry about that. I think it was that he called it. And he said it was the veil that's covered the fairies or the Tuatha De Danann from the humans when we first came to Ireland and drive them out into the bogs. So because this was the way they got you to do things, to see the magic, you see, and because I hit the ball up the bog this day, and it was this morning, and it was full of a fierce mist all over the bog. And he said to me, you come out somewhere you least expected. And where did I come out? At Jack Donahoe's bog cottage in Torbog. And I started hopping the ball off the roof. I said, Jack, come on, open up, Jack, I'm mad for supper day. Will you make me a supper day? And here was Jack, looking out through the crack of the door. I could see his eye through the crack of the door. Come up out of that, he said, come up out of that. I said, what's wrong with you, Jack? I said, you going to open the door and let me in? I'm not. He said, you come out of the mist. He didn't. I said, but it's me, Nicky Fury. You could be Anton, he said, you could be in disguise. And he thought I could have been a fairy taking on the shape of myself, and he wouldn't let me in. And that was one of the first bits of magic I ever saw up the bog. And he told me, he says, go on up to Ringbog, he said, and wait till the mist lifts, he said, and then come down and I'll make it. I had to wait nearly 2 hours before the mist lifted, and he opened the door then and made me a supper tea. Wasn't that fierce? And you know, they told me these stories, and it made me go into the bog even deeper and deeper, looking to see what they were saying. And then when you went in, you saw your own magic. You know, I had an aunt, Lord of mercy, my Auntie Lizzie. She was a lovely woman, my father's sister. And Lizzie had come down to see my mother. And by God, she'd say nothing to me, because when you're young, you've no interest in what old ones would be talking about, you know, it'd be nonsense to you. And she used to, when she'd be leaving, she'd look at me dead straight in the eyes. Now, Nicholas, she says, women will be the ruination of you. Jesus, I didn't have a clue what she was talking about. It took me about a year to figure that one out. Wasn't I going down to every weekend, and sometimes an odd night during the week? I was bringing different girls down to Derry Coffee Bog to see the magic. And wouldn't I have them up on the handlebars of the bicycle, and be God, on the way home that night. Oh, it's a lovely place, you wouldn't believe it. Bog owls, hares, even otters in the river. Have you ever seen an otter with her young? Well, if you sat on the bridge at the Silver River on a moonlit night and didn't move, 9 times out of 10 you'd see the mammy otter there. She'd bring the 3 babbies on her back. She'd bring them out into the water, and wouldn't she leave go of them there, and you hear them squealing, learning them how to swim. All the stuff we seen up there was a great place. And they get an old dull lamp, and I'd shine it into the forestry, and you see all the different coloured looking eyes looking back. Just the women loved it. I was flat out bringing the girls up to but coming home, it could be any time from 12 to 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. We'd be coming home. Wouldn't I fly down Tor Hill on the bicycle, and the screams of the girls going down, no brakes, no nothing on the bike. So I was stone mad. I was hyperactive, mad for crack. And sure, wasn't me Aunt Lizzie living at the bottom of the hill, and the bedroom window, it'd be open, and she'd be hearing a different scream every other night. It was shocking when I think about it. That was the crack I used to be at, and that's how the old people got you out into the bog. The great stories, you know, and the things that they believed in, because, you know, the thing about the bogs and the deserted places in Ireland, you're either going to see it or you're not. And if you can see it, I'll tell you something. That is some crack you'll never forget. There you go.